Last week, the Minister of Finance, Pravin Gordhan, delivered his budget speech. It was the usual number crunching, and I can bet most South Africans had no idea what Mr. Chubby Cheeks was talking about. What is GDP? The only acronym we really know in South Africa is BBM. Can I have your BBM pin? The minister allocated more money to fighting crime. We do believe the police need the money to organize themselves. Some anger management classes, maybe. Take a chill pill, guys. You can't just be...
Pensions and disability grants will go up by 60 Rand to 1,260 Rand per month.
Pension is going up by a whole 60 Rand. That's perfect. Now, old people have an extra 2 airtime vouchers to call their children to ask them for money. It's safe to say that Mr. Gordhan was feeling generous because he gave the Ministry of Education an even more money. He gave him more money, 236 billion in total. What? With all the corruption, it would be probably better. We'll save more money if we actually built the schools out of actual money. We hear you, ministers, yeah? We hear you, ministers, and your issues and your concerns. But what we want to know is, how much is a loose straw going to cost?
Cigarettes are also to increase by 60 cents per packet.
I see what you do. I know what you're doing. He's making sure that less people smoke so that they can be more productive. You know who you people are. They're always stepping outside for a cigarette. Just 5 minutes. We have 5 minutes. I'm just going outside. The big theme of Mr. Gordhan's speech was the need to root out corruption. Even Gwede Mantashe had something to say about this.
Corruption must be fought and it must be defeated.
Root out corruption. Root out corruption. How are you going to say that with a straight face with Mr. Nkandla sitting in the front row? Mr. Nkandla is not getting rid of any corruption. No, guys. You know how much we lose? 30 billion a year on corruption. Is any of this going to change? At the end of the day, this budget will be judged on how the various departments spend the money that they've been allocated. It's crazy. Basically, the people of the country, that's you guys, all the children, and the government are the alcoholic father who spends his children's school fees money on brandy and coke at Marula San and then makes Marula San a key point. Well, I'm dropping hints there. We are dropping hints. Well, we can't be obvious all the time. Sometimes we must drop it. Let's see if Public Works goes shopping this year. To last. We're watching you. To last. South Africa, we have to be realistic about this corruption thing, okay? Corruption is not going to disappear overnight. And sometimes we must think outside the box. And here at LNN, we've interviewed some people who think outside the box. We now cross over to Robin Schweinsteiger, who is in Germany, to tell us how they do it in his part of the world. Maybe he might have a solution. Robin, welcome to the show. Do you guys have corruption where you are from?
Yeah, Loyiso, corruption is everywhere, but we don't like to call it corruption. We call it money for jam.
Money for jam. So what's the difference between our corruption and your corruption?
Well, the difference with Europe is that our problems ended with the end of World War II, so we've had a lot of time to normalize this thing. The thing about you people is that you're not used to this. You want everything. It's just looting everywhere I see. Too many fat people in fancy cars. I mean, look at your parliament. If your leaders were to export cholesterol, you would be world leaders in cholesterol export.
So these things that you are saying are very offensive. I would like you to refrain from saying that.
But I don't mean to offend you. I think the brothers must take a break from corruption until things are built.
So you say they must stop?
The brothers don't ever do anything properly. That's the problem. Where I am from, we can do a lot of corruption. And why? Because schools are built, hospitals are there, and there are no potholes. There is water for everyone. So when we steal the money, the people are happy. They're not happy, but they're happy. It's easy to steal from happy people. Keep the people happy, and you can steal from them as much as you want.
So basically you're saying corruption must not affect the people's everyday living?
Yes. Don't let corruption affect the people's water, electricity and health. With corruption and not bothering a person day-to-day living, then you can do and get away with so much more corruption. What you see is child's play compared to the corruption you can get away with when things are working.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Schweinsteiger.